Hi there, I'm Nicole Breed. I'm your librarian, and today I'm going to walk you through how to access resources for your evidence-based practice project. I'm starting in the Student Commons. CVTC Library is over here in the sidebar. Then locate course guides, and finally nursing. Okay, so this is going to be the best way to access all of our databases that we have, and we're going to go over a few together. We're going to start with Lippincott and UpToDate. These are evidence-based practice databases that are used by professionals in the medical field. So this is a really good place to start. Depending on your topic, it might be a little trickier to navigate. So I'm going to do some sample searches for you. So when you click any of these, it's just going to give you an A to Z list. So you kind of have to know what you're starting with. But I am just going to click one of these to show you what that looks like. So let's just go with allergies. Okay, so this is a basic diseases and conditions page. You'll see overview, assessment, diagnostic testing, treatment, and then what's probably going to be most important to you are the nursing considerations. That will show you interventions, associated nursing procedures. Okay, so you can click into any of these and it's going to take you over to Lippincott procedures and show you that, but I'll get there too. And then you'll want to look at the references and kind of match those up. That can be kind of tricky to do, so I'm going to show you how that looks in UpToDate and why you might go there instead. But there is tons of great information on Lippincott Advisor as well. And yeah, it's best to start with a search term and then base it on that. But I'll just show you what the results look like if I do put in a search term. So I just did diabetes, and then you can see I can separate it out by diseases and conditions, signs and symptoms, tests, treatments, nursing care plans, different things like that, okay? So this is a good place to start, and just remember, read through this, and then if it seems like something you want to use, check out the references, because that might be, this one has one, so I might look at this. We'll see, there we go. Okay, so this might be the resource that I actually use, but you can also use anything from Lippincott or UpToDate. So let's go into procedures. And this will, again, depend on your topic. Here, I'm just going to use hand hygiene as my procedure because that is an evidence-based practice. Doesn't really matter which one we click here. We'll just do hand hygiene. Okay, now this, you'll see that these actually have the references linked, which is kind of nice, but procedures is really just how you do a procedure. But because it's evidence-based, it's going to have that really built in because it's a tool for evidence-based practice. Okay, so you could look at maybe special considerations with washing hands. That's kind of what we're looking at with evidence-based practice is how things have changed from how we used to do them based on the data and evidence that we have, which I'm sure you're learning in class right now. But that's kind of what you're looking for. So procedures is pretty simple, but same thing. You want to look for those references, and you could reference this article as well. And I'll show you how to cite Lippincott and UpToDate. They have kind of a special formula. So the other one is UpToDate, which you can just access on the sidebar here, or it's also on the homepage here. So this is UpToDate. If you're off campus, you'll have to set up an account, or if you're going to use it off campus, you'll want to set up an account when you're on campus so that you can access it later. So UpToDate is, just like it sounds, the most up-to-date information. And let's just do our same hand hygiene search here. Okay. Infection prevention, right? That is the ultimate outcome of this evidence-based practice, is to prevent the spread of infection. Now here in UpToDate, you will see that every time something, except for in the introduction, everything else has a reference link to it. Okay, so standard precautions, and it's going to give me 3 references for that information. So that's really nice that that's built in there. And then they just have standard precautions, isolation, other considerations. You can get a summary of that, which is kind of nice. And I really like UpToDate because it has, all of the author or authors. It's peer reviewed, which Lippincott is as well, but we know that they go through the peer review process and then they're always up to date. So another tool that you can use just to narrow down your search is the Control or Command F tool, and that's going to help you. I'm just going to put in hygiene as an example, but then you can it's the finding tool, so it's going to find that word on the page for you. So if you have a very specific thing that you're looking for, but don't quite know if that article is going to meet that need, then you can use that tool. Something else here, what's new? If you're kind of still looking for a topic, you can go to what's new and really anything that you're interested in. Maybe it's family medicine. It's going to show you all the recent updates here. Okay. So it looks like they found out new information about iron deficiency and anemia due to daily low-dose aspirin usage. Okay. So that would be new evidence that's changing the practice. Okay. So any of these would be evidence-based practice articles. Same with practice changing updates. These are a little bit more pertinent sometimes, and there's usually less. But here you go, updated COVID vaccine, screening for anxiety in children and adults. So new guidelines for that based on evidence. So it's going to link all of that in here for you, and we can just go here. Okay. So here are those articles that you could go to. And you can just click on PMID. It'll kind of depend. This is PubMed ID. It might have a different link there, but you're looking for this full link, and then you can get the full text of that article and read it. Okay. And if you come up with any articles that you get here, let's just try this one to see. So this one's going to give us the full article, it looks like. If you ever find one that is not giving you the full article, just email me, and we can usually get that through interlibrary loan. Okay, so that is UpToDate. There's a lot of other things to do in here, but for your topic or for your purpose with your evidence-based practice research, that's probably what you're going to be looking at. Okay, so start with a topic. It's a little harder to browse on here, but the resources are really good and they're organized well and have those references. Okay, the other one I want to show you is, I'm going to go all the way back here to library search. Okay, so this is going to access everything that the library has. So let's just do hand hygiene again. And you can really type in, whatever your topic is. And if you get this guest one, try to sign in. If you're on campus, it shouldn't give you this prompt, but if you're off campus, it might. Good. Okay. Just so you can save articles and make sure you can access all of them. That's the best way, is to log in there. So it's already set to full text. You'll also want to hit the peer reviewed button. And then for our time frame, 5 years is going to be okay unless you know that you have a more specific one. So I'm just going to do 5 years, and then I'll show you another way to get there in a second. And then for your source type, you're going to want academic journals. That's what's going to make it a scholarly article, and evidence-based practice articles absolutely are scholarly. So you can go to all filters here, and then date range is where you can put in that custom range if you want to. There's also some different tools you can use in here. Subject is kind of nice if you need to. This is going to narrow it to hand hygiene as well as COVID-19, or hand hygiene with infection control, things like that. You can also go to publication, not publisher, publication. Maybe you know that you want to search in like CINAHL. That's not giving me the right one. Here we go. Content provider. I knew it was there somewhere. This is our updated system. So if you find any weird things or it doesn't look like it used to, that's because it's not. But just let us know if anything is not what you're expecting. So CINAHL, I could specifically look in CINAHL, which is another peer-reviewed academic journal that publishes evidence-based practice. Okay. So this is really, you can start in Lippincott and UpToDate, and that's because they link to so many references, it's going to give you good results. If you have a more direct topic, it's a good idea to come to OneSearch and follow those steps, getting it narrowed down to scholarly articles, and then look at these. So improving hand hygiene in a rural critical access hospital. That's pretty specific, but it's going to give you... Okay, so this is a good example of a research paper, and you can read that background to see. So if we look for, like, I can look for evidence, we'll see it's talking about evidence-based here, so that's a good sign, but I'm gonna see if we can find some data. A lot of times what you're looking for is like charts that will show you. This talks about, okay, so you want to see the data that they collected. Results is another good one. So if you search for results, you can kind of see and then determine if that meets what you're looking for, okay? But that's really what you're going to be looking for, some of that general information of how the practice has changed. So Lippincott and UpToDate are going to get you there, and then building your case for why that happened, I guess is the best way to say it. And that's going to be looking for articles in OneSearch. I would say to start there. You might find yourself out doing a Google search. If you do, just going to go to this research help tab, follow some of these. Again, you want to find scholarly materials. So make sure that they're an expert author, they went through the peer review process, and that they're published in a scholarly journal, okay? And if you have any questions about that, if you do have one of those tougher topics, just email me and we'll see what we can find. There are some other evidence-based practice, just helpful tips here. This video is outdated, which is why I'm doing this one, but there are other tools here to help you. Then the last thing I want to show you are citations. So this is the one that you'll use for UpToDate and Lippincott. So just this citations tab and then citing specialized databases. This is the easiest way to do it because this is APA citations, but just the format of UpToDate and Lippincott as databases, it's easiest to go here versus plugging it into like a citation tool because it just won't give you the right citation. Another good one to use is the Purdue OWL. Okay, so this has where you can plug in different website, book, journal article, and it's going to give you, if you go to this formatting and style guide, it gives you a lot of help with formatting. Okay, so that is a really quick rundown of evidence-based practice and the databases that we have for nursing students. I am here to help. My email is nbreed@cvtc.edu, and I will be available to help. So good luck with your search. You got this, and let me know if you need anything. Thanks.